Good morning, everybody. Welcome behind the scenes here at Jamie Riddler Studios. I am Jamie, and it is Monday. And I just have had a little bit of tech, or actually probably human error this morning. So this is my third time coming at you with this behind the scenes, and I am glad to be here. How was your weekend? Did you get up to some creating? What did your creative spirit, how did he or she express his or herself this weekend? I found myself mostly focused on our space, the environment, because we are getting ready for two wonderful visitors this week. First of all, today, my father-in-law, Justin's dad, Chris, is arriving from Holland via Curacao. Hey, Chris. We are so excited to see you, and so we have been getting ready for his arrival. And then later this week, my sister Susie arrives. I'm so excited. It has been just too long. It is always too long between our visits. And I am so glad that Susie's coming. We're going to have some good time to hang out. And if you watch Start Creating As We Go, the show that I do with my sisters, Susie and Shannon, is we are going to do a live Sister Summit episode. I am so excited about it. We haven't finalized all the details, but when we do, I'll be sending it out to all studio members. So I hope you come on over and join at openthedoor.ca, because we are going to be live sharing what we're creating, sharing what we think about what we're creating, and we'll be able to take your questions. And we are so excited about that. If you watch Start, you'll know that one of the things I've been working on is, let me show you, is knitting this wrap. And I am loving doing it now, but I did not love it at first. It took me time and time and time. I think I started and restarted that wrap a bazillion times. It is really it's 2 stitches, but basically for the most part, it's one kind of thing you're doing again and again and again and again. And I just couldn't get it. And so it really made me think about one of the lessons I've learned. You could call it the hard way, which is that if you are going down one road, right? You can go down that road and you can go run down it, you can walk down it, you can dance down it, you can meander down it, but you will always be going down that road. So first, you want to make sure that that road is the road you need to go down in order to get where you want to go. If you are starting out down a road and it's not working and it's not working and it's not working, it doesn't mean that you can't get to the destination. It doesn't mean you're not meant to get to the destination. I know a lot of us interpret it that way. It just might mean, okay, wait, stop. Before you put all the effort into perfecting this journey, let's just make sure, let's just stop for a moment and see that that's actually the way to go. Because maybe it's just a smidgen to the left, or maybe it's just a smidgen to the right. And that's what you need to get you where you want to go. So that's what I was remembering, learning, or relearning from my knitting. If I didn't understand the stitch correctly and I worked harder and harder at perfecting it, it was still going to get to be the perfect version of the incorrect. And so I knew I needed to actually make sure that I had the stitch right. And once I did, then it was a matter of sticking with it and practice. Another thing that I did get to this weekend was a little bit of time in the garden. And oh, my poor garden has been so neglected this summer. You might have noticed this too, because usually I do a few In the Garden with Jamie videos. Plus, I usually do a daily Good Morning Garden photo, and I didn't do either of those things this year, in part because it was so hot so early, and then it got so dry, and then it got so behind. And ever since I was a little girl, this was one of my biggest creative challenges. I always ask people on Creative Living with Jamie what their greatest challenge has been. One of my greatest challenges in life has been when I get too far behind, coming back, like finding that energy to rise above once you're behind. So when I was a little girl, that would it manifest itself as if I was sick and missed 2 days of school, it was harder, 3 days harder, 4 days. I never wanted to go back. And so I think there was a bit of that energy in the garden too, like, oh, it's too late. It's gone too far. Oh, I can't even look at it. I feel so badly for where it is. And then yesterday, as I went and pulled the wildly overgrown weeds, and even at this time of year where the garden really is almost done, there were moments of such beauty that it reminded me to always come back, to always look for those signs of life and to expand them, to push away and clear out whatever is weighing down and help nourish and nurture that little bit of life that is still there and trying to grow. So I guess with that, I'm also saying that this theme of letting go seems like it wants to follow us through the fall. Do you feel that way too? That somehow, and of course, fall and letting go, these things just come together so naturally. And so I am going to keep that present, and I am going to keep working on it. And maybe it is a constant practice to continue to prune away whatever it is that is getting in the way of the vibrancy of you and your creative life. And the other thing that I worked on this weekend was I created a new faux Bonichi. And I'm so excited about that for a couple of reasons. One is that exploring the faux Bonichi style is one of the things we're going to be doing in my journal sampler class, which starts in October. So if you're interested in that, go on over to openthedoor.ca and click on Academy. And that's where all the classes are. So this is my old faux Bonichi. And I had abandoned it for a while because I just realized I had about 3 different places that I was trying to document my day. And that started to feel draining and kind of silly. And so I let this go. To the question, can you ever have too many journals? And I guess the question, can you ever have too many projects? One of my answers would be is when you are stopped in your tracks, when you are no longer doing, can be a sign that you've put one too many, boxes on the cart. Suddenly, I know for me, it's like, oh, the mechanism broke and I am stuck and nothing is happening. That is often a good clue of too much. But then on Friday, when I went to my photo shoot, we put all of my art around me, including some journals, including this one. And we were flipping through it. And I just enjoyed it so much. Oh, and look, do you remember last week we talked about using scraps? This is another example of where I used the strips on the sides of images I had cut out for my collages and used them as a growing backdrop. And I just love how it turned out. So that is a regular thing for me. So a faux Bonichi is following the Hobonichi style of journaling without the brand name Hobonichi kind of journal. And so what does that mean? In part, it means a certain way of dividing your page and certain kinds of information you keep. So you usually have a bar across the top and a section for an image and then sections for other kind of writing. And like I said, when I looked at it, I just enjoyed it so very much. And it just immediately took me back to a certain time, a certain place. And I thought, I want to do that again. So I made myself a new faux Bonichi. Isn't the cover beautiful? And I decided to use a white gel pen to write the name of the artist of this particular piece, Joseph de Rekeche. And I thought that was a great way of honoring the artist who did work like this. And I think, in fact, that this artist also did the cover I chose for my fall writing journal. And I am just so madly in love with the style and the colors and the layering and the texture. So I'm really excited to start my Fauxbonichi again. I hope you had a wonderful weekend in your studio, and I hope you're getting ready for a great week in your studio too. Remember, your life is your studio. So when you cast forward into the week ahead, what are you going to create? And I don't necessarily mean a throw or a painting or a portrait, which of course is awesome, but also, what kind of mood do you want to create this week? What kind of you do you want to create this week? What kind of journey do you want to go on this week? And when was the last time you checked in to make sure that the journey you're on is actually taking you where you want to go? It's a lot to think about this Monday. I hope you have a great couple of days. I will see you on Wednesday.